Dirk Ace is joining me on Skype. Now, him and Tanya Vita have started a campaign called Commit Your Selfie. Now, this campaign ends tomorrow, but you still have a chance to get involved in inspiring change in government. Peter's going to tell us all about that. But first, Peter, thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
Well, I want to talk about the Commit Your Selfie campaign. Now, you tweeted on January 19th. Hashtag pay back the money and do what? You decide now, commit your selfie, and join me to help build a better SA and fight corruption. Now, what fueled this campaign? Was it something you'd been planning for a while?
Well, we are confronted constantly with the hashtag pay back the money, and it's also a very important request of certain people in politics to admit to the fact that things are getting lost along the way, meaning money is disappearing. It's not just about rondavels in KwaZulu-Natal. I think there is a sort of a national virus, meaning that money disappears into the pockets of managing directors all over the country. We are losing billions of rand every year. And corruption is becoming the cancer of our society. So how do we cure that? Do we take a chemotherapy of justice and transparency? And are we prepared to lose our hair, as happens during chemotherapy? Something must be done. Okay, so what's the point of all this? The point of all this is to try and keep a sense of humor about it, because, you know, being angry really doesn't help. And Evita Besaidnot is the ideal person to launch such a campaign, as she calls it. And I talk about her in the third person because, as you can see, she is not here. And I'm pretty glad, because I don't want to meet her face to face. It's her campaign against corruption and pessimism, because pessimism doesn't help us solve anything. And because her grandchildren gave her a Twitter account, do you know that Tanya Vita's got 81,000 followers? I think they're all in the same prison outside Rustenburg. But anyway, that's where we'd start. And then again, one is constantly aware of what people say about the social media. They say it is the future. It is the future of communication. And so we thought, let's give it a try. So Tanya Evita tweeted out her hashtag, Commit Your Selfie, in which she suggested that you, the person who gets that tweet, take a selfie of yourself. And as you know, it's hard work, because you can't always look your best, you know, with your one eye looking like that and the thing up in the air. But take a selfie plus a piece of paper, which you hold up. And I'm going to hold something up to show you what I mean. This is what Charlize Theron sent us.
That's great. Just pull it up a little bit more so we can see.
Send your selfie on that paper, write what you want that money spent on education, on health, on old people, on animals, on the environment, on security, on cartooning, and do it with a smile, because immediately that lifts it out of anger. It lifts it out of the minefield of racism. It lifts it into an area of communication in democratic terms. Now, not everybody's on the on Twitter. Not everybody's on internet. So the suggestion is, take your cell phone, and everybody's got a cell phone. Take your selfie and email it to evitaselfie@gmail.com. You've got till tomorrow. Tomorrow's the deadline. Tomorrow the 6th, because then you need your selfie to add to the second phase of this program. So that basically puts it into a picture. And you know, since the 19th, we have had a huge amount of selfies, of pictures, of smiles, of messages. 99% very positive, and one or two using some really bad language to tell me to fuck off. But still, that's also freedom of expression. So it's, and mainly the reason is this, that if on the 12th of February in Parliament, when our president is not allowed to make his State of the Nation address because of noise from the Teletubbies in red, or in naked garb, because they might not be allowed to wear their red, you know, the joke is something that doesn't travel very far when it's something that happened last year and they're happening if they do it again. Look, Parliament is a very important place. We need signposting to see where we are going. And the President's speech is a signposter to show us where he as leader intends to take us or not. But if that happens, at least our hashtag, Commit Your Selfie, has been in the public domain long enough to put Julius Malema and the EFF on page 2 of the newspapers and not on page 1. So let's see if we can actually give truth to that saying, if the people lead, the government can follow. So people, use your voice, smile, and send.
Now, people have been tweeting and mailing you their selfies, like you were just telling us. What are some of the common themes that people want to see addressed in Parliament?
Do you know, I think the most important thing that most people have touched on is education. And I really think that puts everything in a nutshell. You know, without education, you have very few choices. Without education, you can't communicate through words, you can't communicate through message, you can't communicate through opinion. You are literally forced to use violence. Rape is very much a result of lack of education, lack of compassion, lack of information. Look, I mean, we have got so much information on this extraordinary thing we're doing now. I mean, your internet is filled with more information than the world has ever had, but where's the knowledge? The knowledge is not there. And people forget that knowledge means what you need, not what I need, but what you need for your life out of that huge tsunami of information out there. So education is the key, and frankly, I am very, very upset that we are in the 20th year of democracy, and I know of 16-year-old young people who cannot read. They cannot read. It's not that they're dyslexic, it's that nobody taught them. They were pushed through school because the teachers and the school needed to tick boxes. And we have got people out in our community who are bright and who cannot make their dreams come true. So we're in trouble. So education is the key. Health is important because people are worried about the fact that everything is expensive. The cost of living is getting out of control. People can't buy food. Violence goes hand in hand with corruption because the people who should be protecting us are being corrupted. Greed is, well, an international disease that has no cure. So you can imagine, in fact, just make your list and you will see how many things that you share with most of the people of this country. And there are some very unique things. Tanya Evita herself has got something she keeps suggesting. She says, why don't we put orphanages and creches into old age homes? Because old people are lonely and children are frightened. But if you put children together with old people, immediately the kiddies have got a granny and a grandpa, and the old people have got grandchildren. I mean, come on, there's logic in that, and it doesn't cost a lot. So the first step is to find the money that's been removed from the public purse, to put it back into service delivery, which just doesn't always mean ESCOM. So far, so good, huh? We're still talking, otherwise ESCOM switches us off. But service delivery means I listen to you because you are the citizen who has put me, the politician, into the position to make things happen.